News alerts, overnight news, plus weather and traffic every 10 minutes. This is CBS 47 on your side this morning.
Campaign 2012 on CBS 47 this morning. Live team coverage straight ahead, and we'll check in with both presidential campaigns, President Obama in Chicago, Mitt Romney in Boston.
And I'm Mike Scott, live in downtown Fresno at the elections headquarters. The polls open in just 2 hours.
Yes, Rock 30! Yes, Rock 30!
It's do or die time for Governor Brown's tax plan. We'll break down that ballot measure and some of the others live with our political analyst, Ken Price. Good morning, I'm Zara Arboleta. 5 a.m. on this election day. Let's get straight to our top story. After months and months of rallies, speeches, debates, and ads, it is now up to you to decide the next commander-in-chief. We have live team coverage this morning. Randall Pinkston covering Romney's camp in Boston, but we start with Bigad Shaban in Chicago.
The president's return here to Chicago comes after 2 days of intense campaigning in the battleground states of Ohio, Florida, Wisconsin, New Hampshire, and Colorado. His tour ended with an emotional campaign speech in Iowa. President Obama is spending Election Day in Chicago. He cast his ballot there during early voting almost 2 weeks ago.
I love you!
The president wrapped up his campaign in Des Moines last night, just steps away from his Iowa headquarters during his first presidential bid in 2008.
Are you fired up?
President Obama made one final plea for votes in the critical battleground state.
After all the months of campaign, after all the rallies, after the millions of dollars of ads, it all comes down to you. It's out of my hands now.
President Obama plans to continue his Election Day tradition of playing basketball with friends. I'm Bigad Shaban in Chicago.
I'm Randall Pinkston in Boston, underscoring just how close this election is expected to be. The first town in the nation to vote produced a tie.
This has never happened before in Dixville. We have a tie.
Dixville Notch, New Hampshire gave 5 votes each for the president and Mitt Romney. Romney plans to cast his own ballot in Massachusetts this morning. He will then immediately hit the campaign trail, rallying supporters in Cleveland and Pittsburgh to get them out to the polls. Romney says momentum is on his side.
These last months of our campaign have seen the gathering of strength of a real movement across this country. It's evident in the size of these crowds like this tonight, my goodness.
Romney says he will deliver the change the president promised but failed to do.
Hart's location, New Hampshire, also voted at midnight. President Obama came out on top there with 23 votes, Mitt Romney picking up 9, and Libertarian Gary Johnson getting 1 vote. Reporting live in Boston, I'm Randall Pinkston. Back to you.
Taking a live look at the Fresno County Elections Office this morning. The polls will open at 7 o'clock. CBS 47's Mike Scott's there live. We'll check in with him in just a moment. But first, let's get your forecast with Jenny. Good morning.
Good morning, Zara. Good morning, everybody. And it's going to be a very warm election day for us with temperatures nearing records for today. Let's take a look at our live pinpoint Doppler, show you what's going on. Once again, clear skies outside. That means plenty of sunshine to warm us up today. And in terms of our temperatures, we've stayed pretty warm overnight. Still some 40s in some areas this morning. We're at 45 in Hanford, 47 Lemoore, 46 degrees in Porterville, rest of the valley in the low 50s. We're at 55 degrees in Fresno and Clovis this morning. So generally temperatures are pretty similar, and by the afternoon we'll see temperatures topping out at 85 degrees. That means low 60s at 8 o'clock, moving into the 70s by 10 this morning and upper 70s by noon. We'll check out more on your forecast and that big storm system on its way in a couple of minutes.
Continuing our Campaign 2012 team coverage this morning, it is the busiest day of the year for the Fresno County Elections Office. The staff's been working for months to make sure things run smoothly today. CBS 47's Mike Scott joins us live now from downtown Fresno. Good morning, Mike.
Yeah, 4 months they've been working to get this election ready, Zara, and although the office is empty right now at 5 o'clock in the morning, that's definitely going to change very shortly as hundreds and hundreds of people show up here to begin working on the election process. The polls opened at 7 o'clock this morning. Something new they're trying this year in Fresno County. They've set up 9 different locations around the county where you can just drive up and drop off your ballot. They'll have people standing there on the sidewalk ready to take your ballot from you. You don't even have to get out of your car. We talked about that moments ago with the Fresno County clerk.
This is a new pilot program, and we're all about customer service. And so we know that since we have a large amount of absentee voters, they usually park, go into the polling place, wait in line to return their ballot. So we've got 9 voted ballot drive-thrus. One is right here downtown, where you'll just pull up to the curb. Precinct officer will greet you, ask you if you're the voter, make sure you're acceptable to return the ballot, and then take your ballot from you, and you can just drive away. You won't have to park or go inside.
All right, and there are 5 of those locations, drive-up locations in Fresno County, and others scattered across the county. You can go to the Fresno County Elections website for the full list of where those drive-up locations are. Zara, they're saying that because there are so many absentee ballots yet to be counted, and each one of those basically has to be counted individually, that some of the close races tonight, we may not know the results of those races for possibly several days. We'll have more updates from the elections office throughout the morning. Zara, back to you.
Mike, thank you. Dozens of local volunteers have been working the phones to get out the vote. CBS 47's Lamore Abrams has that part of our team coverage.
Tuesday's election day, and the election is important for our valley.
Calling Valley voters.
Have you voted already, perhaps?
Whether Democrat or Republican, the message is the same on election eve.
We're calling to remind them to vote, and also making sure that they know where their polling place is.
We're calling the voter themselves, making sure they realize that they have so many hours before the poll closes.
Volunteers are trying to get undecided and last-minute voters to the polls. Frank Flores and his mother dropped off their ballots a day early.
I'm hope this next year's we're doing better.
Okay, one is right here.
About 40% of Fresno County voters cast absentee ballots this year. When it comes to impact on everyday life, this year's ballot has a wide range of choices.
There's something on the ballot for everyone, whether it's presidential or local or state, things that affect your life.
Congressional candidates made their last-minute rounds to get out the vote. Democratic Congressman Jim Costa stopped by the phone center to thank his volunteers, as did Republican challenger Brian Whelan.
The challenge is to animate people about the race and animate people about the process.
Flores voted for the second time in his life, but this time around he's making different choices.
I voted for a different party in the past, and now I'm voting for another party, so I feel kind of different.
Thanks to Lamore Abrams for that report. 5:07, we have more election coverage ahead. We'll talk about some important propositions you'll be deciding on live with our political analyst. We're on your side with local headlines. A Fresno man now in custody after a very long night for the SWAT team.
I'm Alexis Christoforous. Economists say the economy will improve regardless of who's president, and Hostess could be hit with a workers' strike. That and more coming up in your CBS Money Watch.
But first, here's a live look at your Fresno Skyview camera. Jenny's up next with your full pinpoint forecast.
Young or